and I think everybody expected them to win it. And on the other side of things, EDG looked like they could bleed, which normally in China wasn't really the case. So I think we're going to have a brawl on our hands today, and we're kicking it off on Sunset.
It's a real litmus test for both of these squads, and kicking it off with a bit of pace. We expect this from the side of PRX as they're quickly taking control over this A site, and it looks like that control is going to be given up. EDG content to play a retake. There's going to be a wall to break on the way through, but they are set up with their 5v5 as the spike goes down.
Yeah, one of the few teams that is still going to be running a Sage pretty much anywhere, but especially in pistol rounds, it's definitely going to be more of an irritation. Now, EDG have held on to a lot of utility as they now look to set back into this retake.
Yeah, a lot of stuff still to work with. That nade already going out to clear an angle. It's allowed them to focus towards the site. But Munyet does well to still grab one. The Paranoia a little deep. EDG already bypassed it, now catching multiple kills on nobody. It's left all down to Devi, emerging from the smoke. He's only good for one. That pistol round win goes to EDG.
Yeah, I respect it. The fact that they've sort of given up the site almost completely and just happy to play off that utility. It was something mentioned on the desk and something mentioned in their own interviews is before they had that raw firepower. They came in as a team that, okay, yeah, Concon, he might be able to just frag you out of the server. Smoggy's going to pull off a ridiculous clutch, but they're not going to have those setups to get their way back in like this. And already a pretty clean start for them.
Yeah, a very clean start. Even from the get-go, they're playing retake on the site. They're letting PRX take the space, and then they're able to fight back through because they've kept their util. They played the game the right way this time around. For EDG, they get the reward. We can see that they're stacked up. In fact, one pistol is all they're going to be carrying through to keep it light. The rest of the squad investing very heavily, and PRX have decided to pull through a lot of sheriffs, but for the most part, they haven't got a lot to brawl with. Open fights should favor their opponents unless the numbers advantage come through. And we are seeing the exact same strat from them, same run through. This time, we're not going to get a Sage wall down to block off, so it could be even easier for EDG to fight their way back through.
Also, EDG have even more utility because obviously they're the team of the buy, so they now have still that Paranoia, multiple flashes. Like, they're going to have to make a pretty severe mistake. And again, there's that initial sort of setup from Chichu just to get them the information. The only real danger is just aggression, but it's so messy! And Munyet doesn't manage to get anything. And well, they have managed to at least find themselves a kill, but they need to get so much from this position, even dying to a blast back. And Devi, his late lurk may not be expected, but he needs to buy such a ridiculous amount of time, and it isn't going to be happening.
No, not quite close enough, although the spike does quicken its pace in ticking towards the end. It's still 2-0 for EDG. As we said, they only had the one pistol on Kankan, which does mean that there's going to be some small dent to their economy, but ultimately nothing that you really need to fret about. On the PRX side, I'm curious to see where they come out of this one with, because they're going to have all the money to work with, all the credits, full utility. This is their way back in.
Yeah, this is where expectations become a little bit different. Now, one good thing is that nobody has done an incredible job already to get that Hunter's Fury online, so potential for some proactive takes. Already they are setting up for a little bit of aggression in towards B main. You can see the knife's been thrown through, but that's all just a bait. This is an attempt to try and hold rotations in onto that B site, and that is exactly what it's done.
Yeah, again, though, from EDG's perspective, this is very similar to what they've been doing, just fully stacking up towards one part of the map, gambling that if they take A, they'll play the retake. Obviously, they've got some very well-drilled retakes lined up for us, and I think here's where we're going to get to see, you know, this is nasty from Munyet. It's expecting to see something from EDG, but they might not have much of a chance. If they expect this one, I will be flabbergasted. A free kill for sure, maybe even a second now. They know his tricks. It's time to fade down.
Oh, they're going to have to look for that every single round. In the meantime, though, the rest of the team has started to get a bit more aggressive. Devi up close already doubles up their advantage, not allowing this retake to even really begin. Leaving just a couple remaining, and while the potential of flawless might be gone, but it is damn clean from the side of PRX.
Yeah, that's a round that they're going to be extremely happy with. On the EDG side now, something for them to worry about as they're playing retake A, wanting to rotate quickly down that avenue, and now they've got to be worried about a player being up top. In fact, even as we go into this replay, this same position that Munyet's in is being pinged like crazy by the side of EDG. They're telling each other, this is where he is. He's going to be there. Watch out on the rotates. So everyone knows they pulled the trick out of their sleeve. I don't think they'll get away with that again.
I'm really surprised they do it in the bonus round.
Yes, right, of all rounds.
You kind of think that maybe that's something you say for a bite, but it is just that almost ridiculous confidence of PRX, and let's be real. if that's the only cool thing we see from PRX in this map, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I'm surprised, shocked, and disappointed just like yourself. For EDG, on this defensive side, bit of a change up. This time not wanting to play the retake on A. They got a bit aggressive, haven't seen anyone, and in fact, Thrash is coming in on the exact other side of the map. As we can see, oh, I like this idea to try and punish. Actually caught one tag onto something, but that's all they're going to get for it. With the res in, they might want to get aggressive, but Munyet being up close, he couldn't decide on his weapon. He'll only get the one, but at least he got the one.
Yeah, they've still kept it even at least. It's not the worst scenario. It looked like it could have gone a lot worse, and already Mindfreak has been able to find another. Kankan looking to try and wrap back in, but the timing couldn't be any worse, and now Smoggy is all that remains. 1 versus 2. I don't even think he has the ability to really clear out this player on the corner, just trying to check, but this Sage wall just being irritating, and that's enough for him to have to back out of the round.
Yeah, at an eye test, you know, you probably can't jump that, but I don't blame him for trying. Maybe he could get the element of surprise if physics was going his way. Unlucky for PRX. They found themselves around, and you know, on EDG, burning up the Hunter's Fury, they commit quite a bit. Their economy's quite low as well. This is not an ideal start, as it looks like PRX might be able to get away with a little lead now.
Yeah, and something just to mention, obviously we have seen both these teams play it already. A very close game for the side of EDG, so I'm not overly surprised that we've seen this pick actually come out from PRX. And also, the one time they played it in Pacific against Gen G, they had a 10-2 defense. So that's something you have to be wary of, is they have already shown that they're going to be problematic with aggressive takes. I think something's utility is you're really going to have to watch out for that, because I feel like Gecko thrives when it comes to this map in particular. And for now, at least, okay, a couple of hero weapons. Smoggy still having that rifle. Guardian invested into for Kankan as well. But how much can they really do in this round?
Well, PRX have decided against even showing their presence towards this A site. I think knowing, like, in most of these fights you're taking, you have a heavy advantage in terms of weaponry. And the one thing EDG can do is group up. So they don't throw the flash early, they sneak up on A, they play it slow. But EDG have rotated in. Just look at that mini-map. 4 players very close by, Kankan on the way, and they've made the right read. The info denial as well. They know there's 1 player towards spawn on the side of PRX. That's not enough to really make a move. Devi is disgusting. He's making a lot of dangerous plays, but in this round, that might not have been the right call.
No, if they can get the rifle back especially, that would be an extra pain that they have to deal with. Also, every player being revealed, no hidden lurks can really be happening. Paranoia is good, but nobody's actually able to capitalize off it. Counter flash is just a little bit too late, and they are being picked apart. Just a couple remaining. Mindfreak has been able to bring back the deficit a little bit. Another, as he's just popping head after head, but it gets a little bit shaky. Leaves it onto something in the 1 versus 1, and they'll be able to hold on in that 2 versus 4. It was a little bit too close for comfort.
Just a little bit. I mean, he definitely had time. Just 1 sheriff shot away from disaster. As I said, coming out of last round, you think that PRX have everything set up to claim a decent injection of rounds, find that one, be in an economically advantageous position, which, don't get me wrong, you still have a player like something with 7K. But my God, it's the reason I have this guy's jersey at home. Should have brought it.
Yeah, that was clean. And taking out the showstopper as well, I feel like that would have been something dead for sure if he doesn't even just get it a split second earlier. So a round saved for PRX, but probably not something they'll...
Wow. The best part is he was already on the wrong side of the trap, didn't go deep enough. Devi, good for 1, that's it though, shut down, and this round has crumbled pretty quickly if you're PRX. I mean, they might have shut down a showstopper in the last round, but, well, it looks like Kankan will be dropped again. Something tagged, low HP on Mindfreak, and they know where both of these players are. EDG have all the info to play with. It seems to be a formality at this point, unless something has an incredible 3K up his sleeve.
That was one of the most audacious changes in pace I think I've seen in a long time, because think about how PRX have been playing so far. It's been slow defaults, normally ending up on the A site. This round, he just tries to TP into mid. And the thing is, EDG have been playing a lot around that mid area for the fast rotations for retakes. So it's interesting that he thought there was a gap there. I'm not sure what piece of information they had that they believed that was going to be clear enough for him to take such a risk, but it hasn't worked out. Something's still ever dangerous, even when not playing on that jet. Let's see if he can make this one at least a little bit costly. He's looking for the fight. He knows that planting at this stage, allowing them to retake together, won't quite work out. And while Smoggy is patient, as he hunts down something in the end.
Yeah, again, the right call to try and thin the herd a little bit, but this is a head-scratcher of a play. I mean, the sound cue is there. The kill is easy to claim. With the smoke close, I guess the idea is, even just thinking to the round before, if I'm not mistaken, we had 3A, 2B. That was a gap in the previous round. It wasn't this time, so an unlucky gamble. As we end up 3-3, quick check-in with the economy sees that we've got enough money for everybody to buy. Utility's going to be pretty healthy, and something has got an operator.
Hey, mate, he's stealing this one out of the book of Concon, the Gecko Op. That was something we saw back on Bind not too long ago. For now, though, back to the slower style, default, maybe expecting a little bit of aggression. Especially with how easily they've got into the post plant, I really don't mind the operator. Just allow him to sit on an angle and try and shut things down, and Mind Freak again. He's had a decent amount of success in some of these early fights. For now, though, EDG doing well just to try and slow the pace a little bit, using their smokes. And again, you can see it's basically a retake setup over on that A site again, just with a little bit of extra info off the trip.
Yeah, the fake, or the attempt to sell a fake on the B site is decent, especially when you've got a Viper's Pit online. They can't afford to give this ground up and play behind the wall. And as they play in front of the util on A, price is paid. Smoggy down. And a null command used for PRX as they claim control of this site, presumably unchecked. Remember, also a Viper's Pit for post plant, and this op is still lurking around. There's a lot of red flags flying for EDG.
He might find the space, though. They don't even realize he's here because he was already past the angle initially. Chichu at least finds a slight gap. Already, though, Thrash thrown out will give an awful lot of information. They're going to spot at least one player in that back line, and look at Devi. Slowly on the wraparound, he was following it, but the shots might have just given his position away. The operator going to hold the gap in a wall. You'd expect something to hit this shot all day long, and he won't miss. 3 kills already to his name. Little bro going to be sent out just to try and claim some extra space, but for now, still a lot that EDG need to do, and not a lot of time to play with. Concon, the last man standing, and he will meet the same fate as the rest.
Well, I expected something to do, well, something on the op,
Nice,
but I wasn't really seeing that coming.
Write that one down.
Yeah, actually, I'm trademarking that one. But EDG calling a pause after that, and then you can understand why. This is just one man finding all the space in the world, despite some decent plays for them to try and break their way back through. I think the harassment from Devi played a big role as well. The fact that he follows up on the Thrash, takes the angle, fires a few shots, and he just runs away. Just lets them know, I'm behind you, by the way. And now they've got to worry about that. It slows them down. It gives time for the op to position. Instead,
he won't, because it's Concon.
Well, that's the theory, right? But he's 5 and 7. So he's got a Guardian. He's got a Stinger, a Guardian. He's not sure yet, and he's sticking on the Guardian. Okay, so a decent rifle to fight with, some range potential, and nothing but Sheriffs to back him up. It's not a round I expect EDG to win in, but it is one that carries a lot of danger on the side of PRX, because we've seen before how strong EDG were on a retake with weaker weapons.
Again, they've switched up. There's been so much presence on that A side that they gambled in that direction, and PRX, they've had solid reads so far. One defender, Chichu, he has been the point of contact in almost every single round, but an afterplant, even a Viper's Pit expended here. You mentioned that some of these rounds got close. Well, PRX don't want to allow that to happen again.
Yeah, with Devi finding a kill, popping a heal on his teammate as well, everyone's sitting pretty, and there's still some util to play with. Going through that Viper's Pit, being on low HP with the Sheriff is the only thing worse than having to take that fight out in the open when there's this many rifles on the other side. They're trying to play the RNG, but the wall is helping, blocking, absorbing some of those shots, even though there's a gap in it that EDG are now going to use as they make their way through. There's a TP out of Aldong, and a 3rd kill! A real chance for EDG to fight back in this round. It's something left. Low HP on Smoggy with the decay. And it's an op to work with for something. Now the heals come through. That op needs to land its shot. The time already running. Can something even save the rifle at this point? He's got to run fast, and looks like he'll just about be caught.
Yeah, they've got rid of him. That's so much damage done by EDG, and honestly, I don't know how Dong managed to do as much as he did, pushing into a Viper's Pit, finding a gap, and getting 3 kills off the back of it. Again, that's another low buy round for EDG. Okay, well, that one, yeah, fair enough.
And then he paranoias into a shrouded step like that. 2 very quick shots when you're, essentially nearsighted. Not bad at all.
Yeah. The thing is, though, it's whether or not they're able to now capitalize on it. Because they have done that a couple of times where they've made things a little bit more costly. Either way, though, again, it's going into this slow push towards the B site. A death ball coming out from the side of PRX. They have managed to sort of play with their opponents. Bear in mind, they've only seen Mindfreak. Now they'll have the information and can finally start getting that rotation in. Kankan is going to be nowhere near the action, and Little Burrow is going to be making sure that plant is in. I don't think they're going to be able to deny. Oh, no, they have. Okay, that's something that will at least buy a bit of time.
Yeah, no operator to play with for PRX after losing it last round. EDG on the retake. Kankan's going to be a big factor for them. If they can open up some of these sight lines, have to get past the Viper wall, the util down from Omen, and they're actually passing it on the PRX side, running it down, taking fight after fight with nothing but success. And we talked about this operator. Well, it's now all that's left of EDG's defensive side. This retake will not happen, and he might not get out of here. Just about making it around into spawn, but they're hot on his heels. He wants to take some shots, but none of them are landing. 5 HP and a classic to close it out. Unlucky for Kankan. He has that up, he's on the wrong side, and by the time he gets to the right side, there's no one left to help him.
Yeah, they've done really well with just these early round pushes. Like, note that this is different to what we've seen from PRX already. A lot of their eco rounds have gone towards the B side, but more importantly, they've sent Mindfreak there pretty much every single round. So, logically, when EDG see him taking that first fight, they go, well, this is the lurk again. This is the guy on the other side of the map. We're not going to pull any rotations. And then the full execute comes in. And by that point, you have just too much control available for PRX. They are doing a great job in these sort of mid-round calls, switching things up each time. And thus far, EDG haven't really been able to catch the smoke of PRX.
Well, Mindfreak denied what would have been a terrible thrifty for the PRX side if EDG found it. Oh dear. Nobody's not getting out of here. Not a chance. You had something on the op, win around with a 4K, and close out a round in that 1v1. PRX have had a couple swing rounds go their way by a narrow margin. This one, though, it's been widened up a bit. Mindfreak on the flank. Beautiful play and good connection from Munyet. Weaker weapons for EDG, and now barely any of them left standing. One of the main ones being Haodong, who it looks like Mindfreak has some spidey senses tingling because he knew he was on his way back through.
They picked them apart again. This time the low buy not looking likely, and
you want more?
Smoggy again. Just trying to catch Smoke. He doesn't even realize where his opponent's gone. Just trying to catch them, and will finally meet his opponent of Mindfreak. It took it long enough to get there. It won't matter. 7-3. PRX after the first couple of rounds have been nigh on dominant. And for a team that, as I said, we watched them kind of get battered when it came to the game versus Gen G. They've come into this, I think this morning, saying, we're at a 6 out of 10. I'm sure EDG don't feel that way.
Yeah, and even if we can argue that EDG have had some closer rounds, some opportunities to pull it off, it doesn't matter. When you're facing down the barrel of a 7-3 scoreline, it's time to show up here and now. Now, a big round for EDG, not just in their buy, in their credits, but also in their ult orbs. They've got a lot online to work with. This has to be their safety net.
Well, this time, nobody is going to be battling once more for that B control. You can see an immediate rotation from EDG. Just being able to get that little bit of control is enough for them to try and just pull rotations. The retakes over the last few rounds just haven't been working. They need to try and get some of those early fights in, and they'll win one. Kankan's removed Mindfreak. He has been the biggest thorn in their side thus far.
I like this position from Smoggy. Good shots last round. The nade is down, but they're a little disjointed. The 1v1 taken against Haodong doesn't go well. For EDG, no smokes left to play with. No, from the shadows. Oh, and Mindfreak's right back into the fight. The shot doesn't land either. And Kankan sprays and finds bullets coming back at him from Mindfreak, who was dropped moments earlier. This is a disaster for EDG. They're losing players, but nobody. He doesn't want to lose this round. Holding strong in the flank from Smoggy's good. It's only Munyet left. He's made it to A. He'll find a plant, but he doesn't know where these last two players are.
One enemy.
Forsaken, unfortunately, won't be able to join him. Low HP. And a Hunter's Fury, they're watching to see if he's going to go pushing round the back, but instead, these angles slowly being cleared. Looking to try and pair back up as he just sits patiently waiting in the corner. not quite look in the right direction if a wraparound comes in, but actually both players meeting back up. The time starting to tick down. They really need to get a move on. Paranoia through, TP'd now to get into a much stronger after plant. Monyet, though, getting tagged further and further. They need to get someone on this, and he's just buying that time ever further. I think this one's going to be desperately close. In fact, I don't think he might have this at all. I think it's going to go off. It's going to be the clutch again, and they just can't find themselves around.
Less than a second in it, Tom.
Yeah.
Like we say, no matter how tight that margin is, PRX steam further into the lead, and with a Red Bull clutch from a player who was low, who missed the first couple swings. He couldn't land the headshot, and it looked like they had it, but in the end,
it's not even that
time
close.
that cost them. 1 second, like 0.93 of a second.
But that's the thing, they were very, very slow at clearing a lot of the angles, and I love the reposition from Monyet. He realizes in that corner, decent chance to get overwhelmed, someone can get on the defuse. Instead, he just looks to take those fights, and, well, nobody again. This time, Mindfreak is waiting. These battles have not been going their way, and something roaming with that operator. Ready to clear, and while the Paranoia will catch him, but no chance for a trade.
It's not even an ability that gets him out of there. It's literally just the straight up, take your knife out and run. Now, Kankan's gone through mid. There is a lurk waiting around here, but it's waiting for the B main aggression, not for the mid push. They weren't expecting this. The timing a little off, and the shots didn't land initially, but Monyet's recovered it nicely. Mindfreak down, big player for the side of PRX. He's been going huge in a lot of these rounds. Now, they have to close it out without him, but it's a 4v2. It's only Chicho and Haodong. Should be easy.
Still in the same spot he paranoid from just moments ago. The initial fight needed to be cleaner. Completely left out on his own. He's had a couple of amazing moments so far, but this would have to be the best of them. Of Monyet, no respect, straight through. Leaves it all onto one, and it is dominant. A 9-3 half for PRX coming in onto Sunset. Doesn't get much better than that.
No, it really doesn't. I like the idea as well to knife close. They suspect he's there, swing it with a shorty, and even grab the headshot kill for their trouble. PRX just looking so clean. This is just a matter of timing. The Paranoia doesn't come out. I think the idea was to play off the contact, but they just didn't expect it to be an op. Like a rifle will take an extra half second to get that kill, and it's easy peasy. You're going to at least trade. This time
battered Gen G, who obviously ended up winning the series, so not a great sign. But now they can look to set up Kankan, a player that we already know can ruin any story set up by the PRX side. It's not happened yet, but you know, they can have that rise back up. And even just getting themselves, I feel like, back in the seat a little bit, ready for bind, because even though EDG is strong on that map, I'd never want to play PRX on bind.
It's a scary battlefield take on this squad, and for EDG, a slow approach, much different than what we saw from PRX, who leaned heavily on finding open space on the A site, which they did so often. This time PRX are leaving A open, looking more so to fight into middle, and that's exactly where they're going to find that scrap. Already good stuff as the heal comes through. That initial fight almost negated if Forsaken hadn't fallen, and if Haodong didn't find the kill on something. Now the numbers are thin slightly, and for EDG, they can take advantage of this. Same sized map, but less players to defend it.
I'd still feel worried pushing into Mindfreak. He's definitely been the player to watch so far, but with the push coming in from Devi, there's a good chance they're boxed in. Now, there is a trip, but that means that he can just keep the rest of his teammates sat within this site. Still a Paranoia available as well for Monyet. That could cause real issues.
It slowed them down, but they found Mindfreak. And they know that Monyet's around here. They've got to deal with him. They want to get this fight planted, and Monyet with a beautiful shot, and now a crossfire angle. Devi easily closes that out. His flank saving the round. And PRX sealing the coffin of EDG. If anything, that pistol win puts them on double digits.
I am starting to think that there should be more maps where PRX play double controller, because obviously we've seen Monyet sort of take over the role of Jing going into the Raze for the majority of the maps he plays, but he just looks so clinical, so comfortable when he goes back over to this Omen, and, well, let's be real, I think Mindfreak's Viper's all right. I think he's doing okay.
He's always been decent controller, you know, at the best of times.
I'll make you excited.
Oh, wall up right away. Interesting angle for Forsaken, and he's already got one. No reload, he wants another. Oh, I love to see the Outlaw thrive, and Forsaken looking beautiful doing it. This is the perfect round. They don't have shields. It's an easy kill if you're rocking into a no-shield fight, and obviously Haodong had no chance, blinded up in the corner and taken down.
Yeah, they had a paranoia come through the wall just to make sure that there wasn't really any opportunity for the player on the other side to survive. That's now 8 rounds in a row for PRX. And well, there needs to be the same just to get them back in the game. That's how desperate a position we find EDG in at this point. They are going to have the buy. Investment available, but I'm actually, to be honest, looking at the weapons on the other side for PRX, it actually scares me more than a normal round. Because you got a Judge, you got an Outlaw, you got an SMG. That means they're probably going to do something spicy.
I'm curious to see how much damage Forsaken will be able to output. This is the thing. A tag from him makes any of these other weapons deadly. But he's playing a much more passive role in this round. Util dispensed on A, and the rotate around towards top mid. It'll be a much slower round, but he will look to maintain that control over middle of fight. In fact, onto Chichu seems inevitable as Mind Freak is caught in this corner. There was no way out for him. Good kill by Kankan.
Yeah, that's a big fight to have because it also gives them a lot of space over onto the site. Outlaw in position and the slow somewhat deterring the players on the attack. They're going to start falling back, but Devi has now retaken that space and we'll just wall it off, even if it's just a little piece of information. That's something that can be brought through. They are now going to start building up, though. The thought on EDG's side is, okay, well, if they've walled this, it probably means there's no one here, and they can get over the top of it.
That's what I was wondering. Like, it seems like that left side's jumpable, but they still hear the sound cue with how close they were. Now, Forsaken hasn't quite managed to get the damage done on the Outlaw, and the flank through by Chichu's being watched. He's beautifully positioned, but the jumping Judge wasn't quite anticipated. Even still, that's the only kill for PRX so far, and it may well be the only one they find. Both players on 45 HP. Nice and uniform, but it's about... I was going to say it's about to become one player. Never mind. Devi perfectly dodged that, but not the second time.
Yeah, and on the other side, something has just decided to go for the save, so a good clean start as well. And I do like the fact that even though EDG are down, they're definitely not playing like it. They're taking their time, making sure they clear everything properly, trying to play with the rotations of PRX, and really giving themselves the best possible chance to start what will be a mountain comeback if they manage to do it. For something, it's whether or not he really wants to go for anything here. Financially, the team could afford it. He's already going to take the head off of Smoggy and just look to try and fall back, send out Wingman to try and just deter them a little bit from pushing. And hey, made things at least a little bit more costly.
Yeah, Menti didn't have to go running in towards mid either and risk there being a player there. His back was secure. I think this is very nice by Chichu. Again, the fact that you have a jumping Judge coming around and he's kind of low, it's unlucky, to say the least of it. But for EDG, we need some big rounds to fall into place right now. 11-4. If PRX win this one, it's more or less bind that we're going to be thinking about. For EDG, this attack side has seen some elements of the PRX aggression. This time, we might get a little bit more. Straight up mid pushing 4 players around this part of the map. A is left wide open. And they don't get contact, so they fall back. But it allows them to be ready on B much quicker than EDG should be ready for.
There are so many players ready and waiting. They've been able to take out at least a little bit of that utility. But I think the hesitation is right from EDG. They're just going to stop. I think they saw so much utility flying through on the other side, but it just hasn't hit the same this game. Something... Given an opportunity to take that fight, and with your duelist, your entry, your space taker down, it's not going to get any easier. Now, the A site is open for business, but I feel like someone almost needs to be left behind to try and catch someone on the rotation, because if you allow PRX to retake, I don't like those odds, and well, nobody is at least going to be able to find one before trying to back away.
Oh, no! Oh, wow! So this is a big change, because, you know, PRX obviously happy to play retake on A from the start of the round in a 5v5. In a 5v4 without Concon, even better. But now the numbers have changed hands a little bit. The advantage no longer sits towards PRX, and there's 2 players on the B site still with a lurk from nobody, active in mid. This has to be huge for Devi, and he won't get anything. These last 2 players even splitting up. Oh, this could be dangerous. They don't check the close right corner, which I mean, you wouldn't really think to check this late on in the game. Well, the punishment is dished out firmly. Nobody. Massive round. He's had some big rounds like this before, but we can't rely on that every single time, Tom. 11-5.
Oh, that was huge from him. Just taking some of that space back into mid, being able to fight the player in market, and then win a duel of, I think it was 2 players peeking him from top mid. That really shouldn't have gone their way. And he's pulled out a hero play that has given them at least a little bit of an opportunity. Alex is going to take a moment to try and talk things through with the team, because that's the thing. Even EDG just getting themselves a little bit pumped up. We have seen this team pull off miracles in the VCT before.
Thrash for next round. Maybe he buys it now, runs a weaker weapon, and then just decides to use Thrash next round. He'll be back contact. He's going to do it. He's crazy. On defensive side as well, it's a risk. Maybe he can save it if things go wrong, but really the hope here, the gamble, is that he's able to find some serious value. And as we can see, well, EDG were backing off. And it looks like they won't be coming near beam. Oh, never mind. The danger zone has been entered by Chichu. He's going to go for a pick.
He's pushed so far up, but both have gone down immediately.
That's it.
That was the thing. Either you had to get value with the operator or save it. This is the worst of both worlds, as he has gone down with the operator. They know exactly where the players are rotating to as well. It's whether or not, yeah, I was about to say, I think EDG have been so calm in just going for these rotations, claiming space elsewhere, and Kankan now already going to be stopping any chance of rotation. He's even going to shut the door on them. Now, what that might mean is, unless it's been thrown away, they might actually be able to save the operator.
It's actually a very nice recovery, I suppose. They carry this weapon through to the next round, and I have nothing negative to say about it. It is just the risk that they run of it being dropped, of one of them picking it up, or of that weapon going down. And if EDG decided to take B, then you're not getting it back. It's gone. But Bulldog and an op carried through to the next round. This is the idea. Like I said, Devi needed 1 kill. He didn't get it, but he's dead now. So he's got a res to work with. Monyet might not have the From the Shadows, but I doubt that's going to ruin their plans. So realistically, they have a lot to work with.
You never know, maybe he'll get a kill with the operator. I don't think he's in the right place at the right time.
No, he's a little far away. If there was a Neon, I'd give him a chance. But no one's getting to his neck of the woods anytime soon. Mind Freak, oh, you're in danger.
They put the paranoia through, but I don't think anybody's really pushing too far on it. Mind Freak will already get 1. It's how much more can he make? It's costly!
Oh!
Mind Freak is just hitting every single shot, and okay, he loses the gun, but even the extra credits will put him in a spot where he can buy a rifle for the next round anyway, so...
they're just throwing. They're throwing, because why wouldn't they just go for it? When you've got Mind Freak on your team, 2v5, just go for it, just go for it. Look at this guy! It's unbelievable! Get that one in a replay. Oh, yes. Oh, I like that. Oh, he even blocked the nade. Our observers are fantastic. Thank you guys so much for showing us that. That's so cool.
Just body block it.
Yeah, just block it, duh. Come on. Take the kills.
11-6. The thing is, though, the economy doesn't really matter so much for EDG. They've built up a lot of extra cash. Howdong even with 8,000 credits post-buy. And if they lose 2 rounds, they're done anyway. So ultimately, it was worth trying to remove that extra weaponry, something will have the operator. As you said, the ults have come online. You have to think that sooner rather than later, PRX are going to eventually get this one over the line. But for EDG, they are now starting to build into this. Still with a showstopper. Hunter's Fury for this round. And again, just this slow, tempered approach to trying to gradually take space. They're not really giving any information over onto the PRX side. And while something... one of the players who could find it is just sat with his operator in hand.
Single-handedly maintaining the control of the A site, where they've been so happy to play retake before. Something's got it on lockdown, but EDG are not looking to take any risks towards that side of the map. Instead, it's the B site that they're currently targeting. Now, there's some utility being expanded to run that clock down 40 seconds, as we're going to see, oh, even a deep flash thrown through. They're really trying to stop this squad. I guess send them back to A, or at least make it so that they have to blitz in, and with the showstopper, that's not really a problem for them. Risky. Okay, it's ended up fired at a corpse, and a nade. Oh, Con doesn't stand a chance. Now Devi can do some serious work. A res online. We mentioned that earlier. They'll try to retake the body on the side of EDG, pushing forward and taking every single kill. And with something only now making it to the B site, now it's time to save. It's time to save, Tom, isn't it?
It is something. It's something. I don't think he's going to go for this, but you never really know. He's just looking to escape back out of there. Now, it's interesting because, again, you see the knife coming through from Forsaken. That's why they start just blitzing their utility, and they knew that they were coming in that direction, but the showstopper taking the space, and then just solid trade work from EDG. It also seems like every time we've had an operator for the defensive side, it has not been in the right place. Both teams have managed to avoid the superstar operator player for the other side, and now I'm just looking at Howdong. He might be about to clear this gun for free, but he's got spidey senses. I don't know why he turned around, but it doesn't matter. Howdong's going to get the kill anyway. Another round building credits for EDG and a 4-round streak on this attack side. This is starting to look possible.
Yeah, you know, a large part of why I started to lose hope is just the promise of PRX on the defensive side, but well, the Paper Dinosaurs ain't doing too well. EDG are looking fantastic, and momentum's definitely on their side. Sure, the ult economy is swinging towards Paper X for now, and that is kind of all they need, right? Just a couple trickle-down rounds, and they're good to go on map number 2. But from what started out as a very dominant-feeling map, a couple of close rounds for EDG that could have swung it a little bit more in their favor, but it just seemed like we were going to leave this with the idea that, oh, EDG need to wake up for map 2. It looks like they've woken up for half 2 at least.
Yeah.
This is a good sign.
Oh, it's a great sign as well, with different players like Howdong, Nobody, all starting to step up to the plate. And this round, we do have investment again from Paper X. It's not everything they've got. They will still have a buy for the next round, but they've got a few Bulldogs to play with. The ult's still available, and the drone, again, I think EDG are doing a fantastic job of either using Kankan or Nobody to just sell a ruse. They start throwing utility, be it a boom bot, be it a drone, and just get them to stick around in that position. Even catching him with the knife, okay, maybe that wasn't intentional. But you can look at the other side of the map. The only player there is going to be Munya, and they're going to get the information finally that they are not around this position anymore. But they haven't cleared Nobody, and he has been a nuisance in the past.
He's in such a good spot, but that smoke's faded at just the wrong time. If it stuck around a little longer, maybe he could sneak his way through. The snake in the grass is being found for Paper X. As we said, a lot to work with. One is a res in terms of ultimates. Viper's Pit online. If Mindfreak finds 1 kill, this could get very dangerous for EDG. Flashes, a lot of them coming Chichu's way, but the players take a minute. Howdong's on the corner with him. They're doing well. EDG are holding their ground, and it's only Munyet left to try to pull this back, swinging into Smuggy, who's had one hell of a round. 11-8. EDG 3 rounds behind on a map that not long ago was looking lost.
Yeah, they lost the pistol, and we thought this was over. 11-3 down, and again, Paper X are going to have to take their second pause. And you're right, like you see the flashes come through. I think there might have been a couple of players blinded either by their own util or by a counter flash on the other side. I think it came out from Smoggy, just buying enough time. And then just having that firing squad, nobody coming in from a different direction. And, wow, they've managed to hold the line versus what was still a decent investment coming.
And they've had absolutely nothing. Just 2 needed to close this out. 2 buy rounds as well. EDG ain't going to be playing an eco anytime soon. That's for sure.
No, they have saved up plenty of cash. Viper's Pit immediately onto the B site. Now, as said, it's been a great job from EDG with the push and pull. They've been selling fakes with different players in different rounds, leaving different lurks, making things awkward for the side of Paper X to read. But with shutting down B main, unless they're going to go through the Viper's Pit and try and fight Mindfreak, they have to try a different avenue. Now, it does look like there's potential that they're going to try and push mid a little bit more, knowing that there can't be as much of a heavy investment in this round, and the door being closed actually somewhat gives them that space. You can see Forsaken has already repositioned to try and watch towards the smoke, but instead, again, they're just slowly taking control across the map.
I do like EDG's approach. I like Devise as well. The wall is great for control, but he's got an angle up above it. Howdong didn't even realize he was shot at just there. The silencer, I guess, really working for him. It doesn't look like there'll be any punish. Did see the players move up towards mid, though, so the rotate's already underway from Devi, and Forsaken is locking it down. Double flash through, Paranoia's good, and Munyet's able to follow up now, positioned a little closer as Devi gets there. He's not even needed. Chichu, the last man alive, and he's got a 1 versus 5 straight into the off. First time something's really had that success with the up defensive side.
And
They finally found the round.
it's almost the kill that mattered the least.
Yeah,
Like
5v1. I got him, guys! The op was worth it.
again, though, I feel like that's another scenario where PRX have done well to go, okay, we'll set something up to have space initially. We've got the Viper's Pit on the other side. We have faith in Mindfreak. Where else can they go? Mid. And that's where they have that 1-2 punch of Forsaken and Munya, the double flashes, as you mentioned at the time.
Make that comeback when you spend all this time fighting your way back in, and then the door's closed on your face just as you get there. It really, really sucks. But hey, EDG have been there before as well. They know how to battle back from those mental positions. That won't be a real challenge now. Slow through and a deep orb. This is PRX telling EDG, we're going to fight for this control over B main in this round.
Yeah, I think it was an adaptation that was needed. Just allowing them to have a lot of this control to late execute has definitely been causing issues. Something, I think he's just jump peeking deep A. Like, his positioning has been able to give them a lot of control, but they are going to look to try and force him back. The drone again being utilized just to try and clear this position. Something just has no fear, though. He's ready for someone to try and take that risk, but it has pulled a player further forward. The problem, though, is that this B main stack-up is still here.
Yeah, the second player's not expected. Of course, it's Mindfreak. Although the poisons might be off, he's still got his rifle ready to fight. And Concon with another death on the board. He's struggled in this series, but Mindfreak most certainly has it. And with Forsaken dropping nobody, it's looking like this might be Map 2 already on the minds of EDG. Chichu with another clutch that he won't win, and Mindfreak on the triple. That is the first map for PRX, and a very promising start to this series. Forsaken said they were a 6 out of 10. Well, they had some shaky rounds, but they're looking more like a 7 now, at least.
Guys kind of gone downhill a little bit, so they've gone with the Fade instead. But these are all agents that they've run on this map before. It's just this combination that I think is a little bit different. Of course, something on this map on Reyna, it doesn't matter the map, I'll be honest. He's always terrifying.
Yeah, something is just an element of his own. I think Reyna in general, my least favorite agent, but there's certain players that can make me enjoy watching her. Life was one, and something certainly is another. Good control over the site, but long is left open for the side of PRX. They don't know that EDG have 2 players still stacked up there, but it looks like they want to take some control of their own, pushing through the spawn smoke in towards elbow. Players caught them though. The rear rotate through the spawn has led to a very awkward position. These defenders are scattered, but they can crunch.
It's left it. Still back down to a 3v3. Already another kill coming through. PRX, that W key hasn't been let go of for the majority of this round, and now with an advantage device still left behind. I don't even think they know that he's here, and with the smoke fading, it's an impossible crossfire to come back from. Chaos in the pistol round, but of course, that's where PRX live.
Yeah, chaos is exactly the right word. I mean, that was a hard one for me, looking at all the players on the mini-map. I can see everything, and you're still trying to put together the pieces as they chop and change different parts of the map control. But I can only imagine what that looks like from EDG's perspective. You just do not know what the next step from PRX's dance is going to be. 1-0. This attacking side has found their legs. Now they've got some rifles to play with, 1 pistol, and that's going to be on something. While EDG don't decide to invest very much at all. 2 sheriffs, and they'll try to find value by taking that orb early on B. Perhaps even push down on Bathroom to grab another. We'll see.
He's just going through it, isn't it? Yeah, of course he is. He was surprised by that. The opponents definitely weren't. They were ready and waiting for something to take a risk. Of course, he was only with a pistol in this round. Cove actually going out just to try and clear the close angles and go above it. They are taking some casualties, and actually a weapon has been found. Chichu, though, is desperately low on health. Can he find anything more? Yes, he can! He's already got a second! Stuck reloading, though, a little bit unlucky. A nice attempt from Chichu, and again, a round that shouldn't even have been remotely close.
No, not even 1% of what we saw there. I mean, this is just ridiculous. EDG certainly have some fight left in them, and the best part about it is that one of the most valuable ultimates comes online because of that. Chichu now has an orbital strike to play with. This could be big for this squad. And I think for PRX, they've got to be kicking themselves. Sure, the initial fight, something goes ahead of the smoke, gets caught off guard, but he had a pistol. It's whatever. Yeah, ideally, you'd have another player beside, whatever. We can look past it. But everything from that point forward was a domino that never should have fallen.
Oh, Luckily for them, Forsaken did also do a lot of damage, so he's going to have the Reckoning online.
Something is exciting me with an Outlaw and Arena.
You're talking about that. I'm looking at Munyet with the Bucky. It's a deadly combination. First kill going the way, but the space already been taken. And of course, the Reckoning just gives him all the information. Look how close up this man is going to be able to get, just cause them issues. This buy, not a particularly good one, but now in the afterplant, very scary.
Oh yeah. This is where EDG can't really afford to swing an angle out in the open. There's not much of a choice. Looks like Orbital Strike being online early is going to be used to try and give them an advantage, but it pushes the Bookie forward into their arms. And that's not where you want this to be. Up close and personal. Munyet has a bit of a timing to worry about. These players on the other side, I mean, if one of them sees him, he's in a lot of trouble, but he's made it out. Something's grabbed another from far away, and it's as easy as could be. Already tagging up Con with a classic. Wow, that is quite the third round for PRX. After what I saw in the second and in the first, I don't know where I am. I'm losing it.
He's just got a kill with a Bucky and a classic in the same round versus a full buy. These are the rounds as well that just shake you. Like, you're going into a map that has been strong for you within your region, strong for you historically, EDG, but you've just been owned immediately by an Outlaw, a Bucky, and a classic. Like, you can't really feel good about a round like that.
It's so ridiculous. As long as a teammate's done damage or they're on half shields, this guy's able to one-shot you and immediately get out of there. I mean, you're already moving quick with an Outlaw. It's already buffed, but he's just going doubling down on it. PRX 3-0, but EDG managed to upset them down to just one player left with a lot less. And oh, he's gone through.
In between.
That's perfect, like a scene out of Ocean's 12.
The smoke is Haldong. Managed to get one. The Boombot's done a significant amount of damage, but he's still in the corner. They haven't spotted him. Still just surviving now. Chichu's found another as well. I don't know how these rounds are going down in the fashion they are. Haldong still alive! How has no one cleared this man? He's been in the same position! And then they've got him flawlessly! That was a MasterCard Thrifty, by the way, guys. That was a MasterCard Thrifty.
These guys are all right with weak weapons, it looks like.
They're better!
Why do they even buy rifles? Look at this! 20 HP! Just once again, 20 HP! And another player comes out. He misses the first shot, immediately correct. This is disgusting. It's disgusting.
I can't believe
it's filthy. You can't do that, like.
Well then,
unfathomable.
That is one way to get on the board. Yeah, cool. I'm gonna try and forget that happened and just move on with my life. Both teams now do have a bye. Munyet going to be taking the space. This time he is caught, but not really anybody available to capitalize off the back of it. And they're using that Cove again just to take initial space. They're not stopping, though. Running straight in onto Smoggy. I think that was Munyet battling for the sport.
It was. Yeah, he was going all the way through. He's being caught, but Mind Freak catching nobody. This is a big kill. They've got an extra angle to fight from that someone has to deal with, and Haldong, this man's an enigma. Nobody's ever looking at him when he swings an angle. I don't get it. But at least it's down to Chichu. Low HP on Mind Freak and Forsaken, but the post plant is the real danger. They can run that clock down, peeking one at a time and ensuring that spike is not diffused. 4-1 for PRX. Surely this is where we return to normality.
Good one.
Yeah, 2 showstoppers online. I don't know what the hell I'm thinking.
Don't forget the Empress as well.
Oh, wow. Oh, yes, you're so... Well, to be fair, it is something.
Yeah,
you're actually right.
It is the one and only time that actually makes sense. I can't, like, Haldong's just run through into a Molotov to try and get that kill. It is like, who can make the riskiest play of the round? And at the moment, I feel like the only person losing is me. You need 2 wins and you get top 4. And those guys are just having fun.
You know, it's something you said earlier on, Tom. The fact is, you know, EDG, you lose this, you go, okay, well, PRX, maybe they are actually legit. You know, it's the region is sick. Sure, Gen G had managed to best them in the final, but it is what it is. You can still estimate them as a top team. You can end up coming up against Loud.
Yeah.
With potential elimination on the line. That's not a comfortable position for anyone to be in.
Yeah, that's the thing. There are no easy games. Here goes Munyet again. It's a martyrdom.
Headshot by the
showstopper. He's taken down nobody and himself.
In the
Look at where something is, though. He's just walked out onto the site. He's just got no fear. Even going to get himself healed back up. Kankan must be surprised. And finally, Smoggy will put him down with the trade immediate. An advantage once again garnered for PRX. And the remaining players are going to have to hope for a timing. But actually, timing could go either way. It's all going to be on to whether or not Mind Freak is looking in the right direction, and they both win their battles. It's now left on to just Devi, but one player is very low, and he's already going to clear him.
Oh, Devi's gone out ahead of it as well. That's expected, and Haodong lands the shot. This time someone was looking at him, but he still wins the fight. As a round will be found for EDG, that gap not going to be extending. PRX have an opponent hot on their heels. I mean, the other thing for PRX as well, coming into this round, you've got some weakness, really. It's just Munyet after going down so early in the last one. But the reality is, he should be in a pretty decent position, still rocking a... Well, actually, I saw a Judge bot up earlier. He's going to go for a stinger. But the weaknesses aren't too massive. It's more so the ult economy. Smoggy's got a showstopper, and nobody has a Hunter's Fury to play with. Big ultimates for that defensive side. Big safety nets to fall into.
Still just nervous seeing something pick up on the operator on that attack. We've already seen the Outlaw. Now you get the big brother.
The thing is, you know, although the damage is going to be lower on the Outlaw, right? Kind of need the headshot on the swing. It's going to be much harder to post up on those angles with the op to get in and get out. And we saw him,
if you're not something.
True, for most people. I should always put that in front of it. For most people, that would be the issue.
We've watched him do it on Gecko in the last, on attack side, just single-handedly take out a team. So now he actually has some movement benefit. Even still, though. EDG really needing to string a couple of rounds together. It's been an eco and a problematic round, and Munyet, no trouble finding that opener. Nightfall has deafened their opponents, making things that little bit more problematic in terms of working out how far forward they've gotten. The high tide has cleared so much space, and they also have the Cove, but now that utility fades, they don't have much to play with at all. In fact, I don't think they have any smokes left.
Trying to sell it as a pump fake, but it doesn't look like EDG are buying it. Orbital strike, Smoggy's in the open, but he's caught one. That spike down, and the ult used, the Hunter's Fury, finding targets. Oh, they're so low. And with Smoggy down, the numbers on the side of EDG are good. They still have a 2v2 with 10 seconds left. All they have to do is deny the spike being picked up. And Haodong, he gives the space. 6 seconds as they make it towards the side. What a shot! Haodong! How did he manage that? He's won it off the clock alone. And if that came down to a 1v1 with something, I don't think he's winning it. But he avoided it altogether. Beautiful play.
I'll be honest, I was scared when he let the spike go. When he let it go, I was like, that's a risk that I don't know if it's worth taking, but hey, he was ready for them to try and plant in the safest spot possible and just hits a crazy wallback. This is just a fear factor, though. Just what something can do, even in the most awkward fights possible. Again, though, the rounds the EDG have won is off the back of pistols and 2 1v1 clutches out of that man on your screen.
4-3. It looks like a really close score line, but wow, they've been hanging on to that cliff's edge. We're at the start of this. We hear some sheriffs firing off. You know there's weaknesses there. But they also know that the big gun was saved through. They've spotted it, and they've taken Munyet down as well. For something, he's not going to find any players out in the open giving free kills away. And that op, I mean, I don't know if you're going to be able to save it through to the next. He'll have to create his own opportunities.
Back towards that B side they go. Corner held, so something that would need to be hard cleared from the side of PRX, and the read already in from EDG. Third player already into position. I felt like they'd have to be some pretty big errors over on the other side. You can see the passive angles that are being held. The knife even going to give them a fair amount of information. They know there's a couple of players waiting here, even ready to invest the orbital strike if they need it. They want to try and make this one clean. It has been a lot of close rounds. Even still, though, something gets the open of it. Is there anything more to be had? It's not looking too likely. I don't know how he's still alive here, finally. The dancing something will go down, and Kankan rises to the occasion. It's 4-4. Obviously not the strongest buy for PRX, but it's more important for EDG to finally have a clean round.
Well, 100%, yeah. I think the orbital strike here saves them so much trouble. You got something going out, but he's essentially alone when he emerges from long. These players can't come to meet him. Divide was low after a spam, very quickly taken down. Kankan hitting some shots. That could be the confidence builder as well. Yeah, he had a really rough first map. One of the tougher maps for him. Pull the rotates to B, and they're ready for that blitz out. PRX ran into a stack because of him. So if he goes down early, just trying to get an off pick, you lose so much in the late round. If Smoggy goes down, well, it's all right. You're not losing any massively important utility. And that's if he goes down. Some control over bathroom and B long. The extremities of the map belong to EDG, but PRX have their sights set on moving through this A site, which was another element of why the rotates didn't come through, because there's always this utility there from Haodong.
Still going. They are all the way outside of Showers, and that'll be Mind Freak down. A big loss in the early round. Haodong fighting within the cages, within the reckoning, and he'll lose his life for it. Maybe a little bit of an overextension, but with one controller down and Forsaken's utility already expended, this doesn't leave them with much. In fact, they're going to go pushing. Something trying to do everything on his own, and now with them pretty much boxed in, I don't know if PRX have a hope in hell of getting out of this.
Certainly not if they play aggressive. We can see that with the crossfire, the triple crossfire, backing up by an op, but they've made the right call. Instead, hightailing it to the other side of the map where they could be able to get a plant down. It's the post plant that's worrying. And the advantage here goes to EDG, 4 versus 2. At least long control is going to be sought after, but a shock dart well placed puts Divide down to 60. Another disadvantage to play with. The TP was heard. Smoggy is the one TPing. That's a little bit of a head scratcher with the operator, but he's holding down that control. I guess we'll be going in to take control of Hookah.
It's the doubt as well. Like, he's not necessarily moving too quickly. It's just the doubt in his opponent's mind. They have to face the other direction as well. Damage done by Divide, but not quite enough. Forsaken needs to pull off an absolute miracle on low HP, and it's not going to be happening this time out. After being blitzed in the first few rounds, EDG now take the lead.
And that's the road to recovery we were hoping to see for this defensive side. 4-1 down to 5-4. And a lot of things going right for them. They're starting to get that control over the map, and even seeing nobody right now has 1 kill. He had so many high impact plays on the previous map, but they're still able to put these rounds on the board. And I think Haodong's setup, really, there hasn't been a solution from the side of PRX. A couple times they've been able to send Monyet in, and he's able to make it ahead of these traps, just barely dodging them. I can almost hear the Alamont playing in the background, but now they're starting to get caught because these traps are moving. They're in different positions each time, and that setup just isn't one that you can go blitzing into, which is what PRX very much like to do.
And it's what they're going to do again. Early nade over the top will actually clear out the trip. Trying to adapt themselves. Again, though, don't have any ultimates online. Showstopper and the null command. The trip, the second one, though, is superb. Kankan going to get a free kill. Haodong again, though. An audacious attempt trying to catch them off guard. Chichu not taking the same risk. Waiting for a little bit of support. And already they're going to counter out anything on the other side with that null command.
Yeah, no danger of those more aggressive flashes coming through, or of something taking your sight away. Not leering onto them. No smokes for Mind Freak as he's down and out, and Divide does well to at least find one, but that player is resable. And, well, that could pull Divide out into the open to attempt to deny. Down to a 4 versus 1 with 11 HP, and he's even detected. Got ahead of the op at least, so damage will be done. But there's still 3 more players waiting for him. Spike in Forsaken's possession at least. And now I've ran out of positives.
He was trying to pull a rotation with the TP, but nobody never left that B site. It's going to get a free duel, though. It's starting to get a little bit messy for the side of EDG. They've given up a couple of kills, not quite knowing where he is. The time is the issue, and more so, nobody on the flank. Like, to get anything here you'd need pretty much a miracle once more. Just trying to find a safe place to plant, and that doesn't exist. Nobody's going to be coming in from behind. Chicho with the wall bang, and it will be EDG extending that lead even further.
It's 5 in a row. The timeline looking convincing. They've come up with solutions, and this comp gives them so much to fall back on. The ult out of Concon, you can see why you want him alive late into the round, even as he gets rezzed back up, immediately lobs out the knife, and finds exactly where that final player is, nullifying any potential for Forsaken to catch them off guard. With 6-4 on the scoreline, that's when PRX might even have called a pause coming into this round, but they haven't. And there's a lot of weaknesses for them. This is again going to be somewhere they hope to just blitz. The wall up to block out the dart is beautiful, but they still have to swing in to Smoggy. And that's where the real trouble begins.
Yeah. Oh! Okay. You can't give something anything! And the bait across as well from Munye is gorgeous. Finally, they managed to deal with him. Something down. And now they've gone for the TP, but this is somewhat of a ruse. They've left Monyet behind. It seems like it's being watched for, but the other two players looking to try and head potentially into the A site. Only one defender and a second slowly being pulled in.
2 smokes for Mindfreak. Could lob one on A to cause problems. You can see there's one in play, but now the second comes down, and it's buying space for Monyet to close the distance. Stinger in hand. This is a perfect fight for him to take, but he goes into the smoke at the wrong moment. 2 players ready and waiting. Molly through. That'll buy time, buy space that they now need. The advantage sits with EDG. Little tag onto Mindfreak. It's okay. Smoke down as he repositions, but ultimately a kill needs to be found before EDG can amp back up to fight through. They're inside the cage, the flash is good, and the kills are even better. Absolutely gorgeous. Another late round where you see the benefit of having Concon online.
Yes.
That flash was clinical.
Yeah, his utility's been fantastic. Again, showing depth to what is a player we know can run around and outgun pretty much anyone within the scene, but he's been in the setup. This is just,
What?
it's just so absurd. And then the second one, it just shouldn't be allowed. They must be happy they killed him through the smoke, because otherwise I think something might have just aced that round.
Yeah, with the way he was going, to headshot someone with a Sheriff, double blast packed up in the air. That's just outrageous carry on from this man, but it is par for the course. At the same time, despite some nice shots from something and a decent map overall, it's still 7-4. The advantage now doubled up on in this final round for EDG. They've claimed an orb and an orbital strike on the back of it. Chichu will have that to work with if they end up in a post plant, but hold on to fight. They're rushing it down, trying to take these duels. In fact, it's Chichu who has the ult that's now left on 30 HP. Panic plays it just to buy a little bit more time so they can fight on the side, and it works with Concon hitting a shot and Chichu doing the same. There's no long push anymore. Chichu, oh my god, those bullets are coming so damn close, but they think he's dropped out now. They've spammed too much for him to still be in position, and he might just get the jump with a second player behind him as well. They're going to emerge from the smoke. Chichu, the sacrificial lamb, and a trade through the smoke, and he almost doubles up on it. Concon is shut down though, and we're into a 2v2.
He's managed to dodge it. He's always been a snake in the grass, and he gets the timing perfectly online. The tags on both sides. It goes for the repeat to give Smoggy the kill. From a 4-1 down deficit, it has been a complete turnaround for EDG. 8 rounds now onto the board, and what a ridiculous resurgence it's been from the Chinese powerhouse.
Well, Haodong has been impressive, sneaking his way behind these players. Face after such a devastating first half.
Yes,
they're getting it anyways.
Yes, just immediately, B Short is being pressured. We're going to see some utility faked out, but again, they're just going to go running back. The thing is, the slow pace of EDG in the last map might just run true again, being patient to try and garner extra space. There is a nade available for Munye to slow them down, but once more, it's not just going to be the immediate run-through. Almost a complete opposite to what we saw from PRX.
EDG are extremely patient, perhaps knowing that if you leave that clock run down low enough, PRX are going to get aggressive. Now, TP is heard towards A, steps are made, but the flank is underway. Trap is watching it. That's something for them to work on. And the trap is destroyed. Here comes a quick triple blitz on the back as the players desperately hold on to control over the site. Reinforcements are on their way and just now arriving, but a quick switch from EDG sends them towards the defender spawn. And Forsaken somehow stands strong inside of Lambs. 4 kills on the Frenzy. And another pistol round for PRX. Normally, Tom, this is where we'd be getting the violins out for EDG. They lost the pistol to start with. They lost the 3rd round to follow up. And now they lost another pistol. For most teams, that's a death sentence. Yet here they are with a 3-round lead.
Yeah, I think Forsaken, just with his Frenzy, unable to isolate the Jules with him, and he's just able to take everything over the line. A much-needed pistol for the side of PRX if they are going to have an opportunity to try and turn this one back around. We've seen EDG, though, do an awful lot with very, very little. But this would have to be one of the best of them.
Well, that pretty much puts a pin in that one. He still has another bullet. That was a collat to start us off. A little bit of a longer reload now that he's fired both shots, but he's right back into the fight just in time to catch Concon. The ace, well, it's not gonna happen. Device swept in to steal it away, but you know what? Forsaken's already got his ult online, so he doesn't really need any more kills. Might as well give them to someone else. I don't know. Munyet with a showstopper? That sounds good, but that's only his first orb to find. 8-6.
He has done that in both halves. Yep. Forsaken has gone in with his ult in round 3, which kind of makes you think maybe he hasn't done that much else for the rest. Because if you're getting enough kills to get your ult in round 3 twice. But keeping these rounds nice and clean, and again, it's a flawless round to put PRX in a pretty decent spot. I am looking at their 2 duelist players both having a judge for this round. I feel like if you're on the EDG side, you've got to be so damn careful. Now, they normally are. I'll give them that. They're normally very slow, methodical, using their utility. But I feel like avoiding both of these players is not going to be easy.
No, most certainly not. Just taking a look at EDG real quick as well. Damage doesn't even need to be done to Chichu before he goes down to that Outlaw of Forsaken. And I think that's something that we'll see manifesting in how this round breathes. That smoker can't be the one that's going out to take those wide approaches, to check angles. Instead, it's got to be much slower, relying on things like your Sova drone, your recons to clear those angles. Forsaken is posted up and ready to duel, same spot as before. And for EDG, that could spell a disaster. Add to that, as you said, Tom, they've got to be careful of those judges. Mind Freak is not being caught, and so they'll look for the B site control, and that's when they walk straight into Munyet. He's crept down behind the box and pops up for a nasty surprise.
Yeah, doesn't even need to switch out the weapon, really. Will eventually do it and be able to escape as well, but Forsaken has been lost. Munyet's done well. There isn't really a reaction either. There has been a push through. I'm just looking at the position that's been taken from Howdong. He's completely in behind. They've left a gap, and that gap has been exploited. Such good positioning from him. A quick rotation looking to come back through from the other side. Howdong taking as much space as possible, but this battle between Mind Freak and Chichu is going to be everything. And again, Chichu just getting in behind his opponent. The advantage swinging into the favor of this attacking side. Sure, it's a bonus, but for a second it was looking really dangerous.
Dangerous indeed, yeah. In fact, it looked like they had it more or less locked down. But again, it's Howdong to bail EDG. On this map, he has just been spectacular. In Spectre form almost. Never are these players able to actually on the open take the duel against him. He's always slipping behind. 9-6, and it's PRX slipping behind now. 3 rounds down.
Yeah, a nice recovery from them. And again, it's been mentioned, you're looking at Howdong on the leaderboard, you're like, oh, he's having an all right game, but his impact has been paramount. The amount of space he took there, cleared out Something's aggressive position, because that was the thing. Something was cleverly sort of moving himself further and further forward, sort of cause issues for his opponents, but then gets caught from the one spot that wasn't really checked on. 9-6. Still plenty available for this round. You can see the operator in onto Something. Judge still online. Mal making sure that there's nobody in this aggressive position. Now the Prowler is going to give things away. Nobody is going to wait in the TP. I don't know how long this is going to stay for.
Well, I mean, nobody's had a tough game. Last map, I'm thinking he had a 4K, a 3K, a 2K. Right now, he has 1K. 1 kill on the board for this whole half. And he was bailing them out of these situations that now Haodong is taking up that mantle. Again, 9-6 in the lead. Couldn't give a damn if you have 0 kills. But for nobody, I want to see him bring that back out. We know it's in the tank at some stage. For PRX right now, as we said, there's Monyet on the judge. They're going to be respecting that because we've seen it last round. It had huge impact. He was able to dominate control over this section of the map. EDG must have another idea on how to play that part. And in fact, they go towards B. They see all this utility come their way. And they're starting to maneuver their way back towards the A site, which has thinned out slightly.
Yeah, the reckoning, though, we're getting down to the last 30 seconds. Going in this direction will leave them with not a lot really to play with. They're going to try and just almost run their way through it, but they're slowly being revealed every single time they try and make their way through. Finally, the reckoning will fade, but Mind Freak now in position. A cove for Forsaken to try and almost fight within, and they are falling like flies. Forsaken winning every battle, leaving just Chi-Chu remaining. 8 seconds and 5 members of the other team still to find. There is no shot that he gets anything from this one, and finally, well, Monyet will fall, but Divide immediate on the reaction.
Yeah, you know, initially I thought Forsaken's probably put out the reckoning because when they push on the side of EDG, they're well, first of all, information. Secondly, when they push, they're likely to be blitzing in towards that position. Utility coming his way if Chi-Chu gets an orbital strike, but Smoggy could be on you in a second. In fact, I think he just put it out so he could farm up some orbs and pick it up. He's almost halfway to having it online again. Just a lights out performance from Forsaken, but still 2 rounds behind. EDG, weaker weapons. This is where they've been scary at times, and an orbital strike online, as we mentioned. So still a lot of danger if this attack side can find ground.
Forsaken looking for a little bit of early control, and the same from Something. Starting to really lock down avenues of the map. You can see Divide doing the same on the extremities of B. It does leave a little bit more of an opening, but the thing is, Monyet has completely switched up his position. He was playing the judge over the last couple of rounds. The flash is sublime once again from Kankan, unfortunately unable to really capitalize on it.
Haodong again! How does he keep doing this? It's unfathomable. This is a classic lure. I've seen Nats do that, but he had an orb and a wall. Oh, come on! Again and again, 2 kills for Haodong, and I said they've been scary. Goddamn terrifying. Forsaken, he's held this position with a frenzy, but that was against pistols.
They know where he is.
He is completely surrounded. What? Nice spray. It was Divide to finish it off, but Haodong has a 3rd kill. He started this with a goddamn classic.
1 enemy remaining.
Wow. And there's only 1 man left. It's going to be Haodong. It is going to be another MasterCard Thrifty, that I'll be honest, makes absolutely no sense.
What's going on?
A man switch over to... Yeah, I like the representation you use. We've seen Nats do that. Nats a great Cypher. I don't know if we've seen him just manage to walk his way down mid. And that was the thing, that was some initial pressure there from Forsaken, really watching for this spot, but he just catches a timing every single time. It is absurd how well this man is playing. Well, maybe a little bit of frustration for PRX. 10-7 in the lead, and while I hope that is a leather-bound notepad, otherwise it's got to be infuriating for PRX. A way back into the map with your opponents on a weak buy, and you lose to 1 man in his classic. A free gun, by the way. Yeah. I think it was his spacing more than anything else. Look at the aggression, though. This is the W gaming we were expecting to see, an immediate push all the way down B long, but again, it doesn't really come with any rewards. Having to fall back and use and burn a lot of utility in the early stages of these rounds, and they've won neither of those fights. Kankan, he's got both in his locker, just takes down the duo of PRX, but it does turn out it was a trio. There was a 3rd piece to the puzzle, unfortunately. Monyet is now just sat in a corner with a judge.
And the very best of luck to him in the battle to come. Because by the looks of it, that judge is going to have to find 5 players. EDG are in a 5v3 with no intentions of being picked off individually. They're moving together, making their way into this site. There's a drone, and that's really the...
They've given him a gap.
Oh, hold on. He might actually be in the position to get this. They've spotted him, and only 1. Perfect from EDG.
B.
Yeah, nice work. I like the idea from Forsaken. Just create a little pocket in the corner that he can hide within, but I think the fact that he shoots at Smoggy somewhat gives the game away. Might have been spotted anyway. And for Mindfreak, there's not really much he can do but to just try and save something. The real problem, though, is that this wasn't... you might be looking at this and thinking, oh, well, the way that round went, it was probably a low buy. No, that was everything. PRX threw the kitchen sink at that one and have now just got to try and hold on to this rifle. An 11th round for EDG inevitable, and I don't know if they're going to have much to play with in the next round. Luckily, both teams, also something, has been able to do a lot with these low buys, so maybe we'll get something magical once again, but it is at the stage now where PRX need it.
Oh, EDG with 11 on the board, a 4-round lead, and 2 rounds to close this one out. Bring us to split. And it'd be a nice swap over. You know, the shoes on the other foot. As EDG lost 13-8, PRX might be losing 13-7. You said they invested everything in that last one. They do come out of it with still 2 ultimates to work with. Monyet and Devi will have something, and you know what, literally their teammate, but they'll have those ults to work with. A couple rifles, stingers there.
They're going to rush
Tom,
mid.
it's not looking great, but the element of surprise is the best thing that they can hope to rely on.
It's not surprising at this point, though. They haven't had much more in terms of depth. Mindfreak's going to get one, but that's all she wrote. Look how ready EDG were. I know you've got a slightly lower buy. I wonder what you're going to do, lads. I wonder if you're going to push something. Just the cam out immediately from Haodong to get his team ready, and then everybody, the firing squad, just watching. Very easy round for EDG, and sure, something's still standing. He's gone as well. Smoggy winning that fight out once again. And what can Devi really hope to achieve here? Left with a close range SMG and 4 full HP players.
Well, GB wanted to see PRX on this defense come out with aggression, just punch him in the mouth, but they've ended out more like Aldo. 5 chances now for EDG to close this map.
Turns out they had grills. That's what it is. They punched them in the mouth and it's left an indent in their own hand.
And this is exactly what you're talking about, Tom. Like at this stage of the game, you're just like, oh, are PRX pushing? Oh, wow, I'm shocked. And no way. Protocols are there, they're ready. EDG a step ahead on Bind. This was a map that we had some question marks around. Playing against PRX on this, I would say, before this, it's never easy. But EDG are certainly trying to make that look like a foolish statement.
Oh, especially you lose both pistols and you're 12-7 up. That's a damn good showing. And they've had some rounds as well where something popped off and they've managed to weather that storm. It's something that many teams have tried and many teams have failed. And within their matchup versus PRX, it's never gone their way. I believe they've had a map before in the past, but I think if they head on to Split, it's been one of their best maps within the region, although it's been great for PRX. It is the perfect place to end it, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Already we're seeing Forsaken with an Odin, so Mitch already believes.
If there was a round to win, Tom, this would be the one. You know, normally on this map, you're going to have traps to play off, but there's not going to be those easy reveals to play around. Instead, it's more to do with spamming. And, well, you're going to have to get the head of Smoggy, and he's crouched down behind that box. It's not too easy for now. The suppressive fire really about to be tested, as if you fire away, that rocket will come right back at you, but somehow the rocket's done nothing. The show not stopped just yet. With damage onto Mindfreak, there's still a showstopper on Monyet once this ult fades. I like the spams, I like the attempt, but nothing's been found.
Oh, they've got Nightfall as well, but Smoggy's managed to dodge it, needs to hit the shot and won't be able to. In fact, Kong goes down instead. An advantage at this stage for PRX, but they still have to get back into the site. Chichu sprinting around, hasn't been isolated yet. It's left down to just one man, but that one man is Haodong. Getting that little bit more aggressive. He's using his opponent's util, even has the cam, and it's just about going to reveal. Knows that they're no longer on this diffuser, but desperately needs a kill, and he isn't going to be able to find it. That diffuser will come through, and PRX will live to fight another day.
Good, I was already calling in to the admins, change his name on that hood, take out the last 4 letters. All you need to say is how. Every time this guy's on the screen, it's just unbelievable, but this time, they put a stop to him. That's the first out of 5. 4 more needed. The side of PRX. And look, you have the showstopper there buying them the kill. Good
That wasn't meant for Forsaken, by the way.
No, it wasn't. It was the player he'd already spotted, who was already dead at that point. It could have been a double kill. 4 in a row. Chichu's about to have ult online as well, but look how much PRX have in this round.
Launching smoke.
All it takes is one, but...
Oh, 1 eco from EDG, is it? That's all it takes.
Maybe. Munyet back on the judge, but that's not really been too much of a detriment for him. And I actually feel like it's fairly important for PRX to clear out that cam. Every piece of utility Howdong's had has had impact. Instead, though, it's the slow walk up. Looking to potentially get that orb online, as you mentioned, 1 away. I don't think there should be much. They'll be able to stop it at this stage. This is such a disgusting position for Munyet to play. I don't know how Howdong survives this time. Surely he should be dead to rights, but no! He hard checks him! He's prepared every single moment! And they got that advantage again. Something he's gonna try and make a hero play. Howdong goes running through and dies to his own teammate. If he made it through, you bet he probably gets a couple. And Devi holding the line on the other side. It's now a wraparound for EDG. Look where they are. 30 seconds left. They expected the B site to be open at this stage. They have to get the kill onto Devi, and he is low.
Well, with Chichu down, Devi really
Enemy remaining.
has it all stacked up once the spike falls. 16 seconds left. No chance for that to go their way. On EDG's side, they have 3 more chances now to push this across the line. And we're starting to see different facets of PRX come online. This is what we were hoping for, but this guy just...
Look at this. So he gets orbital strikes by the opponent. He's like, I think there might have actually been a tiny pocket, but in
That's
that
easy
moment,
for us to see.
In that moment, he's like, oh dear.
You know, if he had a cam where our observer was, he would have known there was a safe gap. But
he also wouldn't have been able to move.
Probably would have had to jump and check it real quick. Wouldn't be ideal. But yeah, the double orbital strikes, they don't happen too often, creating a pocket like that. So understandable. 3 more chances for EDG. Rifles out again. So I'm expecting them to win whenever they eco, but it might be hard to even push them there. For PRX, same old buy. And it's the big gun in play. Forsaken with the opening.
Smoggy down. The flank coming in, but both battles have gone the way of EDG. Mindfreak needs a little more, but it's only going to be the one. Something and Forsaken. 2 players. 2 names that strike fear into the hearts of any opponent. Oh! Trying to get that wallbang through, but is getting dangerously close to a reload. I think he's even going to have to just fall back, give this one up for now.
Well, 10 bullets left, right? He had to pop that reload. But he's ready to fight again now. 100 bullets primed and ready. Something on the other side of the map as the flank comes down. He's going to take a while to get there, but Forsaken's not willing to give up the space. Now he's being spotted as he sees the cam turn towards him. This might be the end for him. He's being revealed, but good damage. That's deterred Howdong from actually taking the peak. It's allowed for that cam to be completely negated. The swing is good for something, and he spotted both players. A 1v2, 4 bullets now. And it's not looking good. This could be EDG pushing it across the line. Another dismiss into a heal, reload, and something's got a chance. No Lear to work with. The defuse being stuck to half, but the swing is perfect. And Con to close the map. 13-9. Map 3 is coming up next.
No, the thing is, this composition is one we've now seen a couple of times. The surprise factor is gone. That doesn't mean you're going to be able to deal with it. It's very, very difficult. And these are also agents where I think, like, Something, one of the best jets in the world. Forsaken, personal opinion, best Euro in the world. It's so difficult to play against the chaos that is created by this side. And that's the storm that's going to have to be weathered. The fun thing about this as well is, in my opinion, both teams have started on their better side of this map. So it's going to be, the first half might actually decide it.
Well, that's it. And for PRX, they'll be happy with this attacking side, as they're already set up to move towards this A site. You can see there's a wall in play. It's going to be popped up, but the main thing drawing my eye is Forsaken. He's got himself a TP moving right up close, where he's already looking to get in towards screens, and well, some trouble's brewing. He's got the first, but the site control stays to EDG. They've got the spike, and Con, he's only good for 2, but it might be enough. The advantage is theirs, and a pick needs to be found soon from the side of PRX. Leaving Mindfreak alone, though. isn't the best of looks. That spike's down on site, and he's got 3 players to pick off. No from the shadows either.
That'd be impressive.
Yeah.
I think
Farming
the
orbs.
whole team would have to be
30
dead.
seconds left.
And then some.
Here we go. Just hoping to try and find an isolated duel, and it isn't going to be happening. EDG, they're off the mark. And then doing well as well. I like the fact that you almost see that PRX are doing this blitz player. I think they almost expected there to be no one on site because they had multiple players trying to fight through in towards screens, and it almost seemed like they forgot that Khan could be and was within the site. So off to a flyer. Good start from individually. He's had, well, not the best first map, an okay second. If this is where Khan comes online, they'll be happy.
Yeah, just in the nick of time, right? And you can understand why they don't expect him to be on site, giving him that opportunity. They saw 2 players' screens. Those players seem to be panicking to get back in. Okay, How Dong. Headbutt the nade to start this one off. But he's staying close on B. Fight around mid. 3 players from EDG want to maintain that control. And the lurk of something is left to try and pick them off when they do. Khan walking down, but he's patient. Just wants to tuck up on the box. Spotted. Nade will cover his retreat, you'd imagine. He sticks around for the kill instead, not worried about the numbers that could be rounding the corner. When he gets out, it's Smoggy that's left in the open trying to cover his retreat.
And they do have to be a little bit careful here, but this is just his chance to farm, get ever closer to that ultimate. Don't think that's the gun that something's looking for, and even just an extra player being dropped here could cause a few issues going into the next round. You can see a much more passive sort of crossfire, just waiting to almost pop up that ladder to fight that one together. It's available for nobody on the rotate as well. And EDG, they'll convert, pick up a couple of the guns as well.
Yeah, it's nice. They came in with 2 pistols, I think. It's why you see Smoggy play ahead of that. He literally is covering the retreat. He can maybe pick off one with the pistol. If not, he loses a pistol. It really is not the end of the world. For EDG, I mean, a flyer of a start with 5 kills on Khan. The rifles on the side of PRX will be facing off against what was one of the more terrifying buys that EDG pulled out. Once they've got these pistols up against rifles, their win rate has been insane. And some very important rounds as well. Mind Freak stunned up and tucked in the corner. And there's no free way for him to get out. I mean, he can use his abilities often, but not this time. There's none online, no shrouded step. And there's a one-way that's probably being held. He's just trapped for now.
Forsaken may just look to try and actually retreat and get an orb here. One off that dimensional drift. I think that's probably the scariest thing with this PRX comp is they've got so much value when it comes to those ultimates. It can almost help the individuals on the other side. Again, this A take. There is a quick wraparound though. They've got to be wary of nobody looking to try and come in on the flank. This is a round where as well, EDG, they can afford to take some risks with the weaponry that they've got. Munyet though, this might be a nasty surprise, but never mind. Chichu's found him, and I don't think they're going to expect nobody in the corner. No, it's half-checked as well. This is going great for EDG.
It really was, and it's back to going great. Nobody with 3 kills, and now it's just 1 standing, 10 bullets, and it's only 1 needed for Smoggy. EDG absolutely decimate PRX in round 3, and well, Tom, I hate to say I told you so, but this is just, it's happening too often now. The value they find with pistols is frankly unreal. And if I'm not mistaken, I mean, nobody had 1 kill for most of it. He finished on 2?
Kills. He finished on 2.
He finished on 2.
He's got 3 times more kills already.
Well, even that, in that round, he got more kills than the last map alone. Unbelievable. Look at this.
It's a half check as well. Like, that's the thing. I just feel like they get tunnel visioned in. The lineup of a Spectre and for Alex, it's just got to be so infuriating. His team put in a decent position and just maybe overextending. Now they come in, they purchased again. They're still going in for more. The dimensional drift will give them the space, but they've been given the space. You can see on the other side, EDG, nowhere near this one. I don't think Forsaken's going to go too much further than that, but with a judge in hand, he's almost just trying to play with his opponents here.
Well, pressure's on EDG on the way back through, and it's off EDG just that quickly. Khan, I don't know where this guy was the last 2 maps, but He's certainly turned up today. 3 kills already, and well, it doesn't look too good for PRX. You might think this is an eagle, but it's not. The weaker weapon on Forsaken, good for 2. Maybe more to be found, but nobody low. He's 90 HP, finding another 3 health. 5 for Forsaken. An ace to put in the first round on the board for PRX. Unbelievable.
Play of the tournament might be done. Play of the tournament might be over. I can't believe.
I feel like I'm gonna cry.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. 2 kills at the judge, and then just manages to isolate every single fight.
That literally brought a tear to my eye, Tom. I had to wipe that one away.
I'm flabbergasted by this.
About was elbow. They had everything else. I mean, taking your breath away. This is another level. 7 kills for Forsaken, 5 of them in the previous round. And as we come into round number 5, EDG still lead by 2, still have a decent amount of money. There's some weaknesses there, but nobody is showing up. That's something down right away. One of the duelists dealt with. Con, you can see he's feeling confident.
Yeah, they're right back on the horse. It doesn't look like they've let that get to them whatsoever. Forsaken's been revealed by the Seekers as well. Looking for some more shenanigans, and in the 2v4, they're gonna pop the Viper's Pit. They need Forsaken to do something, and now Devi, well, it's not quite 5, but he needs to do it all.
At least he's got the pit to work with, but back to back, these kind of clutches surely can't be happening. Too many players, too many guns. This time they will find an EDG, a 4th round on the board with the defuse coming through. Passive play around A seems to be working in the early rounds, and nobody as well. A really impressive resurgence from the previous map. I think his comfort level on Sky is definitely up there, but most of it doesn't seem to be anything to do with the agent itself. And the thing that's worth noting is, I believe Mindfreak was 1 HP, 1 hit, for not 1 exactly, but 1 hit when that first pelt subsided. Could very well have been the double kill. EDG are getting hyped up, and with a 3-round lead and the economy of PRX completely destroyed, there's a good reason for them to be excited.
Yeah, they've got 1 round. It was all Forsaken. Other than that, they didn't have any players surviving. And thus the economy is completely in the bin. You can see just the sheer confidence of nobody on this map. Aggressive angles being taken. TP into the site once more. And an afterplant will ensue, but they are so happy to play in these retakes, and almost the initial kill. It does come in elsewhere.
Again, PRX are always going to want to play aggressive in these positions, pull the numbers into their favor, get some of those rifles out of the hands of their opponents. And the paint shell found its mark on the low HP Munyet. This has left Devi alone, and he's being watched. You know, it's an ambitious thing to try and flank Howdong. He's never going to let that happen. But of course, it was Con to find the kill, a showstopper and a Rolling Thunder online for EDG, moving into round number 6. This was a great farming round for this squad. And now the PRX come in with rifles. There's a lot for the side of EDG to fall back on if they do lose those opening duels.
Yeah, I think this is the thing now. EDG have done amazingly well to not play PRX at their own game. They're not giving them those early fights. They're not giving them any battles that don't have the opportunity for a trade. Supportive flashes from the likes of Smoggy have been fantastic as well. And PRX is rinse and repeat. If at first you don't succeed, try again, because they're heading back into this A site once more.
Hey, look, they got the ult again, why not? And it's actually
He's got a judge again as well.
It's, well, now it's dangerous. It's only going to be used to clear the site, get the spike plant. Good timing. Chichu in trouble now. The showstoppers found him. But it's only trading out the kill from Smoggy. He's had some impressive rounds of his own. A good shot, but it's traded again from the grave. Con takes down Mindfreak. Low HP on Munyet. Nade still to work with. And Forsaken in a nasty spot, ready to play with that judge from down below. But he's worried now because the A site
This
Being
is not
lost,
the
they're
gun
going to
you want.
swing in, and he's only got a classic closing the distance on the back of the smoke. He's evaded their detection, and he's up close with a judge. Forsaken, buying them time and space, but now he's dropped. And the low HP Munyet is last alive. Nade buys time, runs that clock down lower, and nobody has nowhere near enough time to get the defuse in. 2 rounds for PRX, and a lot of damage done to EDG's economy. They've got decent credits left.
Yeah, no, the damage isn't done to EDG's economy at all. It's done to PRX's. They've won a round with 0 players surviving, so they're still in, well, right in the thick of it.
Blade Storm, though.
Yeah, it's going to pad the gap a little bit, but if they lose this next round, they're completely in the bin. They are not out of the woods just yet. And if we've seen anything thus far this game, it's that it's been blips for EDG and then an instant resurgence. They've been fantastic in a lot of those retakes. I think a couple of duels not going their way, the showstopper as well. Do we finally see a hit towards this B site? The early flash is already going to give that information over to nobody, and the cavalry is full sprint. I think after he slowed them down, they've decided to go back.
Look at that damage. Munyet's down to 50 on just the straight spam through those smokes. Mind Freak already dropped. That's a lot lost in terms of sight coverage, blocking off angles, paranoia out of the game. And for PRX, with Munyet low, Divide, he's got a chance to do something. And it's actually something to find that onto Chichu, but when he's dropped, it's Divide alone on the other side of the map. Maybe he had a chance to get something done if they were able to plant that spike, if they were able to keep eyes towards B main. Instead, yeah, this might even be a better clutch than what we saw from Forsaken.
I don't know if that exists.
It's true.
I'll be honest with you.
So much utility, though, and they're not in a rush on EDG. That's the big difference.
No, it would take equally the amount of hero power, and they're already just watching. They're ready and waiting. Not going to let that happen twice. It's going to be another round for EDG. And as said, it's an instant resurgence once more. It's an attempted fast-paced play. I think EDG have done fantastically well to not go in for those early fights. They're happy to sit back. They're happy to sit in their crossfires. And when the opening kills aren't going the way of PRX, when advantages can't be garnered, it's just not going their way.
Oh, you don't see Alex able to get behind them this time. He doesn't bloody need to. It's defense as well. Wait till the attack.
Yeah, you're seeing the flexibility. A completely different role for either player and completely different results, but ultimately they're in the lead. That's a good start, though. Forsaken again, he has been the, well, really the one shining light this team has had so far. Something taking the space, a hero rifle now in his hand. And this time they are playing slightly more aggressively. They're giving opportunities. That might be a mistake.
Device flank this time, not gonna...
Oh no!
No, I wish I didn't see that. Well, it wasn't as late as before, but it was just as successful. At least the trade is found, and we're left into a 2 versus 4 with weaker weapons for PRX. This is something way beyond what you could have expected. Forsaken has ult to work with. If they need the information, more likely, it's just about winning those duels. Both players very isolated and spotted. They know where these EDG players are, and on the side of PRX, that's going to let them group up. A brave play from something that didn't quite work out, but he's got plenty of teammates there to catch the ball when it's fumbled. 6-3. PRX, they're on the board. But it's been back and forth, and if it keeps up that way, EDG going to be very happy.
This is the thing, the MasterCard Thrifty almost comes purely off the back of Forsaken again. Like, just 2 entries into the site, a little bit of an overpeak through the smoke as well. I think this is one of the times you can sort of go the opposite of what we've seen from EDG so far. They've been very happy to give up control and then retake. This time, 2 players went for slightly more, well, actually, the TP into B main was very aggressive.
Yeah.
And they got punished for it. That's not how you want to play against this PRX.
Oh, nearsighted, but he's got a close-range gun. Kankan, good to find one. And the heal is coming right on through, so it's only the shields that he's lost. A fantastic start, again, for that side of EDG. Although Smoggy does go down, the B site's open, and they've bypassed the Viper's pit. This could become a problem.
Forsaken's already taken full control as well towards the spawn. A massive flank as well from Devi. He's got to get a move on eventually, as that retake will be beginning, but if his teammates can buy enough time and something on that aggressive AWP, always a problem. Leaving things now with an advantage for that attack side. Chichu needs to try and choose his moment to find some space back in for a team. And actually, nobody's still very, very far away from this. Chichu eventually pounces, but he's got no support. No teammate to be had. The flank eventually starting its way back around. He's going to have to pull off something ridiculous here and definitely not jump in the face of your opponent. I believe that's a mouse wheel. Nobody now has no time, no opportunity to turn this one back around. He's at least making it incredibly costly once again, but he will be forced to retreat and save.
Firing on a whole different cylinder than what we saw before. You know, you say that might be a mouse wheel. Either that or they've been watching Vitality VODs. I'm not sure.
Shout out Sender.
that little bunny hop spray. If you weren't watching EMEA, it's worth a watch back. It was a fun one. Yeah, didn't work out as well for Chichu. Of course not. I'm not even joking. It is of course just a mouse wheel, just an unlucky mechanical failure.
Spacebar gang.
Exactly. My spacebar is to crouch, but we don't need to talk about that.
No, we don't.
6-4. EDG. Some ultis to work with as well. This could help out. Seekers from nobody. Grab that info late round, but it looks like they might be getting something early round. EDG pushing up close, stun being held, but the shot lands a little too quickly. And now there's an isolated breach on this site. Smoggy is going to be feeling lonely for a while. Con a little too far away. Smoggy's going to have to hold this all by himself, and he peeks in just at the right time to grab two. They're back in contention, and now Con's here. No room for PRX on the site. With Munyet on 70 and the spike in the open, this is going to be a very difficult clutch, and he's found the first.
That's risky. Chichu goes peeking in. Howdong's able to close the distance. As you said, he's had a quiet game so far. Showstopper online, but with half HP, might not be worth popping. Munyet just trying to isolate the angle, find out where his opponent is, and now just standing with rocket in hand, not quite knowing where his opponent's currently coming from. It is a TP into the side, and Howdong eventually gets the job done. Plenty of time left on the clock, and EDG are going to increase that lead to a half victory.
That was actually really impressive that I didn't see the showstopper just shot at the floor right after the paranoia came through. I think Howdong repositioned perfectly. He couldn't have played that any better. And in fact, I think with most players, he would have baited that showstopper out and left him in a very tough position. Con dropping the spike, buying the time, and setting them up for that success. Howdong finally having his round. This is 7-4 for the side of EDG. Map 3, a long and hard-fought series. And this half is going to come to a conclusion. Is it 8-4 or 7-5 for PRX? That's going to make a hell of a big difference.
Oh, the initial pace is there again, but it's meant to be a ruse. Thing is that fake has not been sold. I think they were hoping that Munyet would at least do a little bit, get something from it, but a showstopper straight at his feet. The rest of the team looking to go in. That's a flash, a blind, completely left in the dark here as Howdong now looks to come alive. He's had a quiet start, but the close to the half might be exactly what they need. Mindfreak has made some space, but, well, he's going to need quite a bit more from this one. Another 1v5 needed, and it isn't going to happen twice. 8-4, EDG, again, showing they can go toe-to-toe with PRX, and this might be the best chance they've ever had to beat them.
Absolutely. 3 times they failed, 4th time lucky by the things we're seeing. You got to remember, Tom, you opened this up by talking about how we started on the better half for both of these teams, and EDG have certainly come out on top. Double the rounds of their opponent, and they've already shown us they've got what it takes. The momentum is high on their side, and the hopes even one last time in this series, because we're into the last half, Tom. We've gone the distance, and PRX have now found themselves quite a distance behind their opponents. EDG on the attack side with a very quickened pace, and the A side is their target. It's wide open for PRX with just a Vi holding it. He's got a wall, though, to play back in.
Well, PRX, for the most part, they've been good in their pistols. Didn't go great in the last half, but we'll see if they can get this one over the line. Already losing the control of the site, and nobody is not going to allow any shenanigans from the TP of Forsaken. Now, they do have a quick flank. They're ready to sort of surround their opponents, but with something already going down, I believe that was through the smoke. That is not the start PRX were looking for.
Nice fake by Forsaken as well. He put his TP down, faked it out, and nobody's gone looking for him. Well, much to his surprise, the player was still there. Oh no! The martyrdom comes into effect, and EDG now stand with a very good chance. Low HP on a few players, though, of both of them. In fact, the Mindfreak capitalizes. The first is his, and 20 HP left on Smoggy. A big play with the Frenzy is not going to happen. PRX have found the pistol, and this is a lifeline for the defense of PRX.
Yeah, we got him very quickly, but something I wanted to mention is you look at the last couple of times the PRX have played this map with this comp, they had 8-4 attack sides. So for the majority, they were really putting up numbers in that first half. We had high expectations for it, and as it was mentioned by us and the desk, it seemed like EDG weathered the storm, came prepared. And also, you've just seen the individuals shining. Khan 22 and 10, nobody 16 and 5. They've been on form. And some of the players on the other side have been a bit quiet. Something 5 and 12. On that Jet, that's a rarity. That's something you never really see from him. Now he's got a chance to farm up some orbs here. Has himself that outlaw. Of course, no shields on the other side, so should be a good chance for an immediate kill. Playing very aggressively around the orb. I don't know if he will have realized how far nobody has. Luckily, he has support. I'm also looking at Chi-Chu.
Yeah, he has managed to sneak his way a little further than you'd expect. The downside of not playing with a dedicated Sentinel is that your back can sometimes be a little more open. It looks like Chi-Chu is going to be cosplaying Haodong with a nice easy kill and a recovered weapon that makes everybody a one-hit. This... Oh, no.
He just wants to get rid of it.
Yeah, of course. Don't let them have it in the next. It's costly, but what a shame. He could have one-hit every single player, Tom.
Oh, and they're going to get it anyway. A little bit unlucky, like both players close enough. But for PRX, that's kind of what you needed. Get yourself some of the weaponry through to the next round. Is Forsake really going to go for an operator? This would definitely sort of pad the gap a little bit.
Split op and outlaw, Tom?
Hey, I'm not saying it's... No, I don't know.
Split,
genuinely.
op, outlaw, Bucky, Spectre, Bulldog. You know...
Brown win incoming.
Sometimes you just, you can't use your own logic because it ain't the same as theirs. Paranoia, nade, and play through him, and yet up close with a Bucky. Okay, this is great value for this weapon. A massively strong angle to play around, and one they're not likely to pop a close sky flash on all too often. The op not finding its mark.
But neither did the outlaw.
To B. Look, A is very much open now, so is middle.
Yeah, they've lost something in a very audacious position. I imagine that was with the dash online. Forsaken is now in a good spot, but he's lost his life as well. This man just isn't missing at the moment. The main character of this matchup had a rough start to the series, but has come alive at the perfect time. Dominating, taking over, even with the heals to support him here. Devi under pressure, and he's going to go down to the same man as well.
What hope is there? A save is called as Munyet is retrieved the operator. He would very much like to have that expensive weapon in the next round, having invested so much. You see Forsaken's credits 350, and even that shot from Munyet, it's not as valuable as you think. It's a kill and a dent in the economy that is decently low for EDG. It helps to manage their money. The problem is they know where the op is now. Sure, it might not be back on B site, but they've cast a wide net, and as this round comes to a close, they'll look to close that net and catch him. It looks like they've done just about enough, and yeah, indeed. Oh, never mind! Munyet's got it! He's out! He's out! He was out! But he stayed around for another kill. I guess they might have caught him as he moved through spawn anyways, so it's not that he was guaranteed a free run. But that op is lost.
Yeah, and that is going to put a dent. It's going to be Forsaken who takes it. Like, they're going to just give him a stinger. Obviously, when you're playing that Yoru, you can take some risks, play some aggressive angles. But it's definitely not ideal, especially when he has been one of the major players in this game so far for PRX when they've had success. Munyet, showstopper online. Kanka, no surprise, his is one away. They're already going to just try and play with some of the sound cues. It doesn't seem like there's any real interest from PRX with those early initial sounds made. They've gone and taken the orb anyway.
Now, there was a player close, but he's TP'd out. I think they might even have heard that sound.
There's no one on the A side.
Yeah, it's wide open.
They're just playing into middle. Yeah, I guess, again, with some slight vulnerabilities for the side of PRX, they're just willing to completely give that up. And with how the lurks have been, it's somewhat surprising, but it looks like they might actually get this spot on.
He comes in, Chichu's under pressure. You might think, but you would think wrong. That, I'd love to see Coach Alex's candor as that one comes in. Weapons picked up, they hear them backing off, the paranoia's there. And the flash out from Forsaken, he's not gonna give it up. This is the right play. He wants to pull the advantage back into their hands. With the spike down, he sticks around after turning. Another huge round. He might not be alone, but he doesn't need backup. Not when he's playing like this. Mindfreak closes the round, and well, it was very close to being 2 aces for Forsaken. This man is single-handedly keeping the team in it.
Yeah, there have been multiple rounds now that, well, ironically have looked Forsaken, and somehow he is just managing to pull off play after play. He's been on this roster for a long time with many heroes arising. We saw the rise of Jing, Something, Munyet joining the team, and somehow this guy always still looks like the superstar. And what you can see for the other side, they've got to try and almost center themselves because it's just ridiculous. Bear in mind, he picked that rifle up off the corpse of a teammate midway through that battle. He only had a stinger to start the round.
And because of him picking up that rifle, his teammate died because they heard the sound cue and they swung it. Now, though, there's a little bit of a different approach from the side of EDG. Just shoot him in the head with Sheriffs, and it's worked out perfectly. 9-7, double digits on the line, and they have so much control. The ult is going to be used, finding out Chichu. Good flash, but no kill. 4 HP left, but it's enough. He's made it, well, oh! I thought he made it out. They pulled him right back in. Mindfreak, 1 versus 5. And if you thought this was the round we were going to look at when barriers went up, go get your head examined.
They've still got no weaponry.
No, they've picked one rifle.
They haven't managed to get any of the guns. It was just such an absurd round. And the thing is, that is Chichu now realizing how much space he can take. He walked straight into that A site. But I don't even think he broke stride the entirety of the round because of how PRX have been playing. And because of that, it ends up being their downfall. EDG consistently spotting the openings of their opponents. And it's been Lux on both of the maps that they've won. Haodong in the last map, and now Chichu doing the same on this one. It's a problem that PRX are gonna have when they run these sort of comps.
They came into this round up against an Eco on the side of PRX. They had full rifles. And the call in the end is to save before they even find a kill. 1 rifle that they get out of that situation. An utterly ridiculous, that also already done some damage to him, but he was quite low himself. And for PRX, yeah, that is very much what you expect to see. Disappointment and anger as EDG have stolen this out from under PRX's nose. 3 rounds in the lead, and they need 3 to send PRX 0-1. You could have a PRX versus Loud game, and, well, Munyet doesn't want that.
No, no. It's the opening they've been looking for. Both teams have had mass success with weaker weaponry. And Chichu does have a Viper Spit. If they can get him into position, it could be problematic. Something, he's been spotted, but just runs away with the information. You can still see the Tiger being thrown out over on the A site. Information being garnered by EDG, and again, that walk up, but this time there are players there. Even the TP available onto site for Forsaken if he needs to go back and support. Instead, it's this fight, and again, Something has been having a rough time in individual battles, which is not something I thought I'd say today.
Well, even starting out the day, the first 2 maps, Concon had a pretty tough time in individual battles, but there's no signs remaining of that anymore. Lots of players from EDG ready to run into a site. That's going to be the Rolling Thunder that's point of contact close. Already is Forsaken, and he's caught one, but he won't get out of there. The spray is too good. Quick rotate by Mindfreak, straight into a stun. He's kept back for a moment, and that wall is buying space and time, but as they cross it, they're lower. Easier to take down, and Mindfreak catches all 3. PRX aren't giving this up just yet. The gap is down to 2.
Yeah, somehow. Somehow the gap is within touching distance for PRX with how things have gone. A solid start with the showstopper. I also like how We see Forsaken just delay. That pop flash aggressive spot, it kept his teammate alive on the site. That surely would have been him going down with the Rolling Thunder. And that also bought time for Mindfreak to be able to TP to the other side of the map. So impact even without the numbers. Still though, economy on the brink. An aggressive push that has had very little success so far.
Oh, something's even going to give it up. You can see the respect being given to the side of EDG. Not by Forsaken, that's for sure. He's just swinging out looking for long-range battles. It's a decoy going through, and Chichu's realized, oh, he was screens a second ago. I don't think he's up in heaven. The rotates are coming through, and they'll fight for heaven by the looks of things. I like this wall on A. Oh, no. Oh, it looks like I'm incorrect. There's going to instead be a bit of a poke by Concon up towards B first, and that is keeping players in position. Mindfreak's pushed up, 3 players towards B, and it's the fight on Concon that could decide it for Forsaken. If he loses control there, the panic, and they stay on B, but instead, the rotates are underway. And the A side is now definitely the target. The info is there, but Devi is so desperately low, he won't be able to hold on. And as they rush into the site, Concon realizes he might have the timing, but Forsaken realized that too.
Viper's Pit, though, is definitely going to make things more interesting. Every player within it, at least for the moment. Heals available as well. Nobody won't be able to help himself, but he can help everybody else. Utility-wise, not a whole lot to play with, and that's not the start they were looking for. Every member falling. Forsaken again is going to have to ace it for them to take this round, and Aldong is ready and waiting as he looks to wrap back around. 11-8, lead extended once more. And now the problems really are there. Look at the economy for the side of PRX.
Yeah, this is crushing. If it was EDG, I'd be expecting us to see 11-10 on the board, but the thing is, it's not. PRX have struggled on some of the lower buys. EDG have been so disciplined is the main thing.
They did win one, and it was off Forsaken's double entry with a Sheriff. So, but that's the thing. I do feel like right now, even though like Mindfreak is up there, I feel like I'm just looking at him every round. I'm like, okay, can he give them something to play with? Because otherwise, I just don't see a way that through. And Mindfreak's already dead.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. Smoke's down. No paranoia. Although it's often used off early contact, Forsaken is going down to take a close range fight.
No
His TP is to B, and he's out. It was just a quick recon jump. I like that for info, but the info, unfortunately, is that the stack on B is incorrect. The A side's under threat, and they're going to be very late to the party.
He's got no flashes to play with, so it just has to be off raw skill, and this time, too many targets. Not going to be able to get anything, and just look how far the remaining players are. It might even be a scenario of just going down to the spike. The only thing against that is for something probably wanting to get that Blade Storm online.
Devi as well. You know, he's about to get the Viper's Pit into play. Could be huge for that defensive side to cut down an angle, especially like A main where they've been so quickly bypassed again and again. You can see he's going up to try and get something. He'll get an orb one way or another. And it looks like it's the other. Yeah, shot in the head. Something going up for the same. And it's just a formality at this point. Smoggy's picking them all up. The wall goes down, and here's the push. No kills for something. Blade Storm, Viper's Pit have been acquired by PRX, but the cost they paid is that EDG now have 4 chances to put them 0-1, put them up against possibly an FPX, the loser of the next series, or Loud.
Yeah, there's not great options. Even the loser of the next series just seems like a rough one.
You can say that again.
Hometown Heroes or the America's #1. I don't think it's a good look either way. It is brutal with 2 losses sending you out. And that's the thing, even if you win that first one, there's still a decider match. You're still going to have to play one of those upper bracket teams. For now, though, a little bit of extra pace thrown in from EDG. A chance they've never had before, a chance to close out a series versus PRX with 3 losses. I've heard 3 is the magic number. They're looking at 4. But there's a lot of ults online for their opponents right now. That is where PRX have done their best work.
And especially thinking about this A site setup, if they play retake, Viper's Pit can get online using that wall to block a lot of the angles on the way back through, even towards elbow. And it is somewhat of a retake. Fight for heaven for sure. PRX want to keep control over that spot. As EDG will be pushing into it. Now, these are big players. Menyet's had a good game, but Forsaken, he rated his team at a 6 out of 10 right now. But he's been 10 out of 10 all damn day long. This map thriving. The challenge is about to come through. The flash has caught him, but he's turned, and it's nice. 2 quick kills, a decoy in, and a TP out. The advantage is extended even further as PRX look to put another round on the board. Buy a little more time. Forsaken, another 3K, another big play from this man, and he's waiting for his teammates to round the corner before he takes that fight. 3 more chances for EDG before they hit an overtime.
I've heard a strat back in the day, played by many a team.
What's that,
called
Tom?
Avoid CNED. And I think that they may need to try and incorporate that on the EDG side, because genuinely, Forsaken has been the one thorn in their side. They have looked like the better team throughout this map. A pistol either side, there's no excuses in that regard. Winning hero rounds, Kankan back online, nobody as well. There hasn't been a weak link, but when they run into Forsaken, wow, 9 times out of 10 they lose the round. He is the sole defender of this A site right now, with a little bit of support coming. Showstopper for Kankan could put the end to him, but it looks like he just wants to take a firefight.
Oh, they've cleared heaven, but look at the space taking by Menyet. It's perfect, but Kankan's ahead of him, finding the kill. Forsaken, flash to work with, TP towards screens. He's going to try to get the kill. No, in fact, he's not. The flash is just used as he falls further back, and now here comes the big ol' rocket. Forsaken's dodged it nicely. Spray good for something. The rolling thunder going up towards heaven. It's not caught the players, and the site is under threat. Something maneuvers around and jumps into Kankan. Eventually, he'll fall with Forsaken on another, and low HP on Smoggy. The spike on the A site, and a very tough one for them to retrieve. They don't know where that second player is, but they found him. It's all on Forsaken. 2 kills, but the spike is at his feet. He knows these players have to push him. The utility 2 flashes will now no longer, and it's a few bullets in the difference, but that's enough. EDG, 4th time is the charm, as they finally bested PRX.
And it's the first time that W Gaming will take a loss to the Chinese #1. And what a great start to the tournament it's been for them. We said both teams came into this one looking a